Good afternoon. Previous session, we start to discuss about the significance of dates in history or how important are dates. How important are dates? As we studied in the previous session with the example of the begin of tea and coffee. See, there is a lot of confusion and there is a lot of what we call the about the proper dates to know on which date and which month so began, especially in our country. See, sometimes it's too difficult to guess or to mention the clear date of an any events. So there are so many difficulties. So that's what. So while constructing history and while mentioning the particular date, so the historians must be very careful because the history is there, no, it is one of the vast, so there is no limit for history. It's like a sky, so there is no limit also, especially history. It was an account of battles and big events. It was an account of battles and big events. Then don't think whether it is only an account of battles and big events. No, more than that. It is all about the development of the human beings in various ways. The development of the society, the development of the human beings in different ages. It is including the evolution of the. Then we can't evaluate or we cannot fix or we cannot guess when it was happened. The evolution of the origin of the different living beings. See, the history it was about rulers and their policies, and historians wrote about the year a king was crowned, the year he married, and the year he had a child, and the year the next ruler succeeded to the throne. See, for events such as these, so specific dates can be determined, and in histories such as these, debates about dates continue to be important. If suppose if you are going to learn about or to know about the particular dynasty, so when it was began and was the founder of that particular dynasty, and when he was came to power, I mean when the king he was crowned, and even the year he was married and he had a child, and the here he fought the particular war or different wars, and even in which year he was died, and after the died, in which year again the next ruler succeeded to the throne, who came to power. So for events such as these, specific dates can be determined. Specific date, for example, this is my date of birth. I may married in this date. I may got a child, a baby boy or a baby girl. I may began in this year the war and so things. See, and the year. when he was the person that died. Died. See, already we all of you seen history books, textbooks since 2 years. We are start to study especially history from the sixth standard onwards. So from the past 2 years, so he has seen already the history textbooks and historians now wrote about a host of other issues and other questions. So the historians they look at how people earn their livelihood, how the people so they earn their livelihood, and what they produced and ate, what they produced and ate, and also how cities developed and markets came up. So this is all actually the part of the human life, the development of the livelihood and whatever they were produced in a different sectors or they were involved in the agricultural process and what they were ate and how the towns and cities were developed and how the markets came up and how kingdoms were formed and new ideas spread because there are new ideas were emerged in a different age in a different countries which we are going to study the especially the new political systems the new ideas in the society that we are going to study in the next year and how these kingdoms were formed and also how new ideas spread and how cultures and society changed. See, these are all actually including the different process. And step by step, there we can see the lot of changes, cultural changes, political changes, and changes in the society, changes in the economic status, and changes of the human settlements, and in any other field. See, these are all actually the continuous process which we are experiencing and happening even the today and even the tomorrow and even the future also from the past. From the past. The past and in the different ages, how the human beings they are lead their life the same way we are not leading the presently. So there we can see the overall development, the overall changes in human history. So here, that's what the dates are very much important to know about that particular year or that particular events changed in the which date onwards or from the where. See, by what criteria do we choose a set of dates as important? What criteria? So it is the biggest challenge to the historians to select the dates. What criteria do we choose a set of dates as important? See, the dates around which we compose our story of the past are not important on their own. They become vital. Why? Because we focus on a particular set of events as important. Are you getting now? So, the story of the past, which we compose our story of the past, that are not important on their own, not important on their own, but so they become vital. They become vital. So because we focus on a particular set of events as important. See, if our focus of study changes, if we begin to look at new issues, a new set of dates will appear significant. Are you getting now? If our focus of study changes, if we began to look at new issues, a new set of dates will appear significant. See, I will consider an example. So, in the histories written by the Britain historians in India, so even the today what we are studying about our history of India, so the most of the history, so it was actually written by the Britain historians. See, the rule of each governor general was important because why? Because so the history it was written by the Britain historians or British historians. When the history it was written by the British historians, so the rule of each governor general was important. See, these histories began with the rule of the first governor general. I think all of you knows that the first governor general was Warren Hastings, and this rule, so it was ended with the last viceroy when we got independence in 1947. So during that time, so the viceroy of our country was Lord Mountbatten. So when the history it was written by the, I mean the Indian history it was written by the British historians. So the rule of each governor general was important. So when it was begins with the history, it was begins with the first governor general Warren Hastings, and it was ended with the last viceroy Lord Mountbatten. See, in separate chapters, we are going to read about the deeds of others. So, regarding this, so we are going to read separately in the different chapters. So, example Hastings, Wellesley, and William Bentinck, and Lord Dalhousie, and Canning, and Lawrence, Lytton, Ripon, Curzon, Harding, Irvine, so on so things. So on, so many. Are you getting now? See, it was a seemingly never ending succession of governor generals and viceroys. It was a seemingly never ending succession of governor generals and viceroys. See, all the dates in these history books were linked to these personalities, to their activities, to policies, achievements, and it was as if there was nothing outside their lives that was important for us to know. No. So only we are focusing on their activities, their policies, and their achievements. And it was as if there was no, I mean, nothing outside their lives that was important for us to know. No, it was not important to us to know. See, the chronology of their lives marked the different chapters of the history of British India. See, can we not write about the history of this period in a different way? Whatever which it was written by the British historians, whether can we not write about the history of this period in a different way? And how do we focus on the activities of different groups and classes in Indian society within the format of this history of governor generals? You can imagine now. See, when we write history or a story, so we divide it into chapters. Of course, it's common. See, why do we do this? why we are going to divide it into chapters. So when we start to write a history or when we start to write a story, so we are going or we divide it into chapters. So why do we do this? It is give each chapter some coherence. It is to give each chapter some coherence, and it is to tell a story in a way that makes only in those events, especially some sense can be followed. Some sense can be followed. See, in this process, we focus only on those events that help us to give shape to the story we are telling. We are going to focus only the particular area and events which are going to help us to to give shape to the story we are telling or we are writing. So we are going to focus only on those things or only on those events which are very helpful to us or which are very helpful to give a clear picture. Okay. See, in the histories that revolve around Indians simply do not fit. They have no space. They have no space. What then do we do? What then do we do? So clearly, we need another format for our history. We need another format for our history. See, this would mean that the old dates will no longer have the significance they earlier had. So please keep it in your mind. So this would mean that dates will no longer have the significance they earlier had. A new set of dates will become more important for us to know. A new set of dates so will become more important for us to know. So this is all these things. So this is all about which dates. Understood? And how do we periodize? How do we periodize? So again, there is a big question. How do we periodize? How do we periodize? See, in 1870, in 1817, so one of the famous Scottish economist and political philosopher was called as a James Mill. James Mill. James Mill was one of the popular Scottish economists. See, now please keep in your mind. So we are talking about how do we periodize the history. We are talking about history. Please keep in your mind. How do we periodize? See, in 1817, the James Mill, who was the Scottish economist and political philosopher, so he was published a massive three-volume work. He was published a massive, a biggest one, a largest one, the three volume of book, the three volume of book that's called as a history of British India. A history of British India. So please keep in your mind. So it was composed three volume and name of that volumes are a history of British India. See, in this, James Mill was divided Indian history into three periods. So please concentrate here. So the James Mill in 1817. So he was composed three volumes in the name of a history of British India. So in this he divided history of India into three periods. He was categorized, he was divided the history of India into three periods. So by the James Mill, what happened? He divided the Indian history into three periods. So according to James Mill, what are these three periods of how he was named? See, he was periodized or he was divided the history of our country into three periods, so such as Hindu, Muslim, and British history of Indus, history of Muslims, and history of British. So how this what? So a very sad to listen these things. Hindu, Muslim, and British. See, the root here itself we can see, dear students. The policy which was continuously from the beginning to the last, how they were followed in our country, the British people, is what? The divide and rule policy. So, they were divided in 1817 only, before entering the India. So, the fellow James Mill, so in his book, in his composed History of British India, it was a periodized like this history of Hindus, history of Muslims, and history of British India. Like this, it was periodized. And this periodization came to be widely accepted by, this is what is so sad. It was widely accepted by everyone. So, can you think of any problem with the way of looking at Indian history? Or you accept the history of our country or Indian history like this? History of Hindus, history of Muslims, and history of British. Are you agree? Are you accept? Or your way of looking at Indian history like this? You may getting a lot of angry. See, it was done by James Mill in 1817 only. So, dear students, so regarding this, we are going to continue in the next class. Thank you. Have a nice day.